So there are several legendary stories about this player, and where he ties into my career as a journalist is because when I was trying to overcome a speech impediment towards my radio part of my journalism career, I learned how to pronounce his name correctly to basically allow myself to deal with the GER words. Ed Litzenberger. Now, why is very unique, allegedly, in the minds of many media and a lot of executives. He's the guy that saved the Chicago Blackhawks. And people are saying, well, how can one player save the Chicago Blackhawks? Well, let me give you a little bit of background. Now, Edward Charles John Eddie Litzenberger was donated, no other word for it, by the Chicago Blackhawks, to the Chicago Blackhawks, by the Habs in his first year at the NHL. It worked out so well, he won the Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year that year, despite the fact playing with two teams in one campaign. I don't remember any other Rookie of the Year that did that, and you may never see it again because I think the rules say you have to be majority with one team to make it work. Now, at the time, the Blackhawks were struggling to survive as a franchise because of the recession in the late 50s, and the league's governors decided to help the team remain viable, and Litzenberger moving on was part of that deal. Now, he was born in Nieuwdorp, Saskatchewan, very beautiful community, on July 15, 1932. Now, he first came to Providence with the Regina Pats of the Western Canada Junior Hockey League. Now, in 51, he led the league in scoring with 44 goals in 40 games, and he had 14 goals in the playoffs. Now, in 53, he made his debut with the Montreal Canadiens, where he played two games with one goal, his first counter. Now, his Memorial Cup numbers were tremendous with Regina, like the playoff numbers. 38 goals in as many games. Now, just tremendous. With his seasons with the Pats, he scored 25, 44, and 42 goals in a regular season. Playoff totals 14, 26, 17. So the man can score. Now, he also split time with the Montreal Royals in 53 with 26 goals in 59 games and 12 points in the playoffs. Had another cup of water with Montreal in 54 with 3 games. He had 31 goals for the Royals in 67 games, and then got the start of his regular shift with the Canadiens. Now, 11 points in 29 games, ended up with Chicago, again, as part of that loan or part of that compensation to build up the team. Now, he had 23 goals that year, 28 assists for 51 points. Now, the team in Chicago was gradually getting better and better, and eventually became captain of the Blackhawks. And he became an all-star, and he did have 3 consecutive 30-goal seasons and was named to the Loop's second all-star team in 57. Now, he was named captain of the Blackhawks at 58, and eventually again led the team to the Stanley Cup championships. The squad that year was loaded with talent, with Hull, McKenna, Palat, and Glenn Hall. Now, this was Chicago's first Stanley Cup since 38, so you can basically say he and Bobby Hull arriving on the scene saved the franchise. Now, Litzenberger was eventually traded to the Red Wings after the Blackhawks had won the Stanley Cup, and traded again midway through the season to the Maple Leafs. Now, he then helped the Leafs through 3 consecutive Stanley Cups from 62 to 64. And he, like he said, he would have won a cup with Montreal, but he was traded as part of before that big late 50s dynasty. Now, after that, he was sent down to the AHL with the Rochester Americans and won the Calder Cup for 2 consecutive seasons with the Americans before retiring. Now, Litzenberger's unique 4 consecutive cups don't happen very often because he won it on 2 different teams. He had helped install a winning attitude as a member of the Blackhawks, and he had a dead-fast attitude amongst his players of positivity, and he always used to say, he might be satisfied with a tie. He said a tie is not a win and not worth celebrating, so he gave Chicago their value back as a franchise, and like I said, he became legendary of being a money player. Now, he's the only player in North American hockey history to win 6 straight pro hockey championships because of the 4 straight Stanley Cups and the 2 Calder Cups. And you may never see that again. Now, upon retirement, he went back to Canada and Ontario and was active in his local community on many levels. Now, awards and achievements. He was a QSHL Top Rookie of the Year in 53, second All-Star team in the then Q in 53, QHL second All-Star team in 54, Calder winner in 55, played in the 55, 57, 58, 50, 59, 62, and 63 NHL All-Star games, NHL second All-Star team in 57, Stanley Cup champion Chicago 61, Stanley Cup champion 3 straight in the early 60 dynasty for the Leafs, 62 to 64. Calder Cup with Rochester, 65 66. So final NHL totals: 178 goals, 238 assists, 416 points in 618 games, and 5, 13, 18, and 40 playoff games. Now, if he would have stayed around and joined the expansion year, he might be an outside contender for the Hockey Hall of Fame. But that's 6 consecutive championships. Don't know if he's been considered for the Saskatchewan Hall of Fame, and that's something I don't know. I'll have to get maybe some people that have been listening on the podcast channel to let me know if that's been considered. But, 6 straight championships at any level, it's tremendous, because when there's 3 different teams, that shows his leadership. And like I said, the Chicago Blackhawks you looked at from the early 60s to well into the 70s, the success they had were it not for the Montreal Canadiens, because he would have played Montreal, in the 71 and 73 playoffs. A lot of that is owed to Litzenberger, because he was a winner on any level, and he was a fan favorite. Actually, Jacques Lemaire, when I interviewed him years before, he said players like him built the foundation for Chicago long before the big dominant Chicago teams that came later on. But at 61 Cup there, it's pretty underrated. I think it should be talked about more often. And it's so good to know that people remember him, because I mentioned to my pal in the Woodstock region I was going to do something on Litzenberger, and he said, "Yeah, you got to mention those 6 straight championships." He said, "Even I'm still amazed," and he's like in his 60s. And when he heard that, he said it was unbelievable. That's something a New York Yankee would do. I don't think the Yankees won 6 straight. I have to double check on that. There's a lot of discussion that Litzenberger was one of the few modern players to win 6 straight titles. Because you might as well say the Calder Cup was the minor hockey world championships, if you look at it that way. So he had 6 straight world championships. Anyway, thanks for listening.